There should be more people going around and actually like advocating, like, let's get some fucking federal laws in place. Let's do some police reform, and there should be body cams on every single fucking police officer. I don't know if I've elaborated about this on air yet, but just obviously get body cams on every officer, because it's protecting the fucking citizen and the officer in a lot of cases, because it shows the truth. If you don't have anything to fucking hide, then you shouldn't be afraid of a fucking body cam at the end of the day.
It is actually in the officer's best interest, because there have been a lot of instances where like cops have been vindicated by footage from the body cam, where like somebody's like, hey, this fucking cop touched my ass, and then it's like you see the body cam and it's like, no, actually he never did.
Yeah, good officers have nothing to hide, right? If they're not breaking the law, then they should have nothing to be afraid of. It's only a safeguard for their fucking for them. So yeah.
And here's the thing, because I've heard people like make the argument of like, oh, well, that's like invading a cop's privacy. Bullshit. Fuck you.
What fucking privacy? You're a public servant patrolling the fucking streets.
You should have more accountability than the average person, not less.
Yeah, but here's the thing too, like people who work in like in stores and shit, like if you're working at a fucking grocery store and shit like that, you're already being monitored all the fucking time. It's a normal thing to be monitored.
You're being monitored by the government. They spy on all of us. Yeah. So like it's not fair when we peek into what they're up to.
Yeah. Reminds me of that one time where we were watching that one dude on True News. I think it was one of the True News fucking
Rick Wiles.
Yeah, was that Rick Wiles where like his phone went off when he was like talking about like government surveillance, and he talked about, oh, my Siri just went off. Yeah,
just for like the sake of context for the audience, we had Jeff Holiday on. This is like one of the old episodes, and we were like watching a Rick Wiles video, I think, and he talks about like corporations and the government spying on you, and then Siri fucking like listened into what he was saying and then like started Googling something like Googling government.
Oh my god.
And he's like, oh, silly Siri, not now. And it's like, you're talking about people spying on you. Pay no attention to that. Never mind.
I'll be honest, dude. I get a little paranoid sometimes when because whatever, you guys know, I talk a lot of shit about like fuck the government, it's fucking retarded. Then I get ads like join the military, join the U.S. Border Patrol. I feel like I'm being taunted, dude. You know what's even funnier? I get half those ads in Spanish, dude.
Logan said body cams don't do anything. I'm tired of hearing this. Eric Garner, Tamar Rice, Thomas, I think that's how you say it. Thomas Kelly, Daniel Shaver, the list goes on. Yeah, it's not gonna fucking prevent cops from abusing their power at all times, but it's at least like a remedy for that, because they know they're on camera, they know they're being recorded, and on top of that, we can actually hold them accountable. We can actually get proof of them doing the thing they've been accused of.
Yeah, and it's at least a step in the right direction. It's because you know what, like, I'd rather have more accountability. I'd rather see the cops more than less. And you know what? This way, yeah, if they do something like that, it's on fucking camera, and they have to answer for it. And no more of this, oh, well, they're a cop, so they just get extended leave. I mean,
it's kind of like saying, like, why bother supervise the cops? They're just going to do what they want to anyway.
Yeah. Not only would I put body cams on all the cops, but I would say I want archived footage of on-duty officers that are not undercover to be accessible to the public. I want average citizens to be able to go and look at a police officer's body footage, not just the police in charge. I want everyone to have access to that. I want the police to be accountable to everybody.
You also said those were all people cops killed on cameras. They all walked. Yeah, sure, that happens. But I mean, like, isn't it better that you have footage of the crime being committed?
Well, that's why we're trying to, that's why we're trying to, this isn't no one is saying just body cams and that's it.
Yeah, it's not a definitive solution. Right. No one's arguing that.
This is only part of the solution. Another part of the solution is actually reforming the justice system and making it so that, like, these police officers are not immune, that they get arrested immediately. If a police officer witnesses...
You know what's a good thing to have when you're trying to do that? If you have a bunch of footage of cops acting like a bunch of fucking pigs.
Yeah. And so if a cop witnesses another... This is what we need. If a cop witnesses another cop committing a crime, I think I heard Vosh saying this the other day, that cop would be guilty of the same crime. And I absolutely agree. You are a police officer. Your job is to uphold the law. If one of your fellow officers is breaking the law, then you are held accountable for that law as well. And if that law is in place, you'll see how quickly police officers will start turning each other in, because they don't want to get fucking... Especially if they're on camera, and especially if the public has access to that footage.
You know who talked about fucking police reform on the Champagne Trail and never actually did anything about it? Another one of his fucking broken promises, the Donald.
Yeah, that's true.
Wanna know why it's not
It's
gonna
funny,
happen?
like when he's actually in power, it's like, oh, we have to dominate.
You know why it's not gonna happen, dude? I'll tell you why it's not gonna happen. Because it's something both parties can agree on, so it'll never fucking be happening in this country.
It's funny. Joe Biden's reaction to that was like, what if you shoot him in the leg instead of on the torso?
You know what? I want to say something about that because you know what? We were talking about it earlier. This less than lethal force. You know what? Shooting someone in the leg can still kill them, just like shooting someone with a rubber bullet can still kill them.
Yeah. So basically, a lot of these protests, they have people bringing like water and like fast food and stuff, so like people can eat and remain at the event without having to like go somewhere else to get supplies. Yeah. Cops show up, pour out the water, or just throw it into like a pickup truck, or like they slash water bottles and just pour it out. I mean, you want to talk about like the First Amendment and people's right to protest and all that. I mean, we see that the police are not fucking cool with that. We see that like they do anything they can to minimize the amount of people who show up at these protests.
Dude, looking at all of this shit, literally, yeah, the cops breaking the Geneva Convention here and there, just willing everything.
They've also destroyed. I just want to quickly mention they've also destroyed like medical tents that protesters have set up, or like paramedics are like attending to people who've been fucking shot in the eye with a rubber bullet.
They're acting like this is a war.
That's the way they feel about it, man. Like you've seen the footage of like them using helicopters to intimidate people who protest. They're using military equipment to like scare off protesters. They're like picking random people out of crowds and just detaining them for no reason.
Fuck this shit. This is fucking ridiculous.
Fuck the police.
Tear these fucking institutions up and rebuild them from the ground up. And you know what? If there's corruption when you rebuild it, then tear that one up and start over again. Keep fucking starting over.
Problem is, there's always going to be these fucking corrupt assholes. If nothing's done about it, like that's the problem. That's one of the biggest. I didn't even talk about this. I want real fucking punishments for police officers who fucked up shit. If they make one fucking big mistake, you know what? They should never be a fucking police officer again, and they should face the consequences of anyone else who would break the law like that.
I think the most amusing thing about this is like how a lot of libertarians have reacted. Not all of them, obviously, but so many that I've seen. You have people on Twitter who are like, don't tread on me flags, as their banner and shit like that. A lot of them are just kind of like, well, if you just cooperate with the police and if you just like, don't get in the way, you'll be fine. It's like, have you no fucking idea what the ideology that you pride yourself on even consists of? Like, have you no fucking clue what that flag is supposed to represent?
Remember the one with the black dude in the car, and he's like, I have a gun, I am pulling it out, I'm putting it on the seat here, and they shoot him anyway.
Yeah, so I'll just explain that to the audience, because I know, like, not everybody's seen that. So there's a black dude with, like, a gun. He's got, like, a holster. Cops pull him over. They're like, that gun in your fucking holster, put it on the ground. And he's like, well, if I reach for it, you're gonna fucking shoot me. And they just keep telling him, like, put it on the ground. And then, like, he just kind of, like, slowly reaches for it, and they immediately fucking kill him. His last words were, you told me to. And that was it. Yep. Then he died.
Fucking disgusting.
To protect and serve, of course. Just cooperate. You'll be fine.
Again, these cops are pussy. Because you know what? You know what probably happened in that moment? Those cops, even though they're like, yeah, we won't shoot you. And maybe they didn't intend to. But you know what? I can tell you one thing. At least one of the cop that pulled the trigger, he probably had like a flash in that moment of just black man with a gun. My life is in danger. Because the idea of a black man with a gun is just the most terrifying thing in the world, dude. I love how we have, like in some states, we have open carry laws. But oh, you guys remember that thing? There was a video that someone did where there was a white person was going around with cops with a gun in an open carry state and he was fine, and then a black dude did the same thing and the cops tackled him to the fucking ground and arrested the person with the camera. Like, it's fucking...
Oh, you have footage of us doing that. You're going to jail, buddy.
Yeah, dude. Like, you telling me that the racist cops aren't a fucking problem? I don't care if all of them aren't racist. There might be some good cops out there that some quote-unquote good cops that aren't racist, that aren't abusive fucking power-tripping assholes. But you know what? It is a fact that they stand by and do nothing while their fellow cops abuse their fucking power, abuse the public, and they say nothing.
I feel like that kind of negates the whole good cop thing when they do that.
That's what I'm saying. So there are no good cops. That's why I'm saying defund this corrupt institution, tear it the fuck down, and rebuild it.
So we have more footage of cops harassing people.
What is this? Attacking journalists? Of course.
You might want to put on audio for that one, for the Vice one.
Press.
That's fine.
I'm pressed.
Get out and run, motherfucker!
I'm pressed. Okay, I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah, so they're telling them, like, get down, and he's complying.
Get down!
Okay.
Like they give a shit about you being the fucking press. Like,
Yeah, so they're strolling around with, what is it, pepper spray?
I'm pressed.
these police officers have respected the fucking freedom of the
He's
press
on the
at all.
fucking ground!
Well, that's not the end of it. Just keep watching.
Like, one thing that fucking boggles my mind is, like, why are you going after the fucking press of all people? It's just such a transparent fucking form of authoritarianism that it's
sprayed in the face with pepper
I don't even know what to say. Like, even fucking
We missed it, but he got pepper sprayed in the face. He looked up at one of the cops, said, "I'm pressed," and immediately got sprayed.
Okay. I gotta get up, alright?
Hyun is right. This is a police riot. You want to talk, like, who the fuck is doing the rioting here? Who the fuck is actually harming people? Who the fuck has the power to harm people? The protesters burned down some buildings and broke some windows. What are the cops doing? They have weapons. They have fucking pepper spray and tear gas and rubber bullets and riot shields.